increases the size of the Wake County Commission from 7 members to 9 members, partly to take into consideration that there are 1 million people living in Wake County right now. The bill also ensures geographic diversity on the Wake County Commission by placing the commissioners in residential districts that they run in, and the bill also aligns the county commission districts with the Wake County School Board districts to provide more transparency and accountability for our elected officials.
And what's the impetus for this bill?
I think the problem that we saw after the most recent election is 5 of the 7 county commissioners live within the city limits of Raleigh. I have a Senate district where I represent many of the small towns and rural communities in Wake County, and we don't have a single person on the Wake County Commission. Wake Forest, Roseville, Zebulon, Knightdale, Wendell, Garner. So it's really important that those towns also have someone that they'll see at the breakfast counter on Wednesday morning, they'll bump into at the Friday night ball game, and that they'll be able to have a relationship with and who understands their way of life and can represent them best on the board.
The results of the election are that the county commission now has all Democrats on the board. You're a Republican. Do you see the political ramifications? Are you worried about the ramifications of this? People say that you're trying to reverse. You may be trying to reverse the results of that election.
What this bill is seeking to do is provide more representation for Eastern Wake County's rural communities and the small towns in Wake County, which I might add, make up half of the population of Wake County. And right now, 5 of the 7 members are from Raleigh, and that's a serious problem. If it means that allowing more people to represent the small towns of Wake County will mean that the board will become more Republican, well,
we're hearing criticism that this bill was run fairly quickly, that we had it filed yesterday and today is the public hearing. Do you feel like there's been adequate chance to get notice out that if folks have an opinion about this bill, they could come out here today and express their views one way or the other?
Well, I'm just the bill sponsor, and I filed the bill because we have local bill filing deadlines. I mean, legislators have deadlines that they have to meet down here, and I'm very appreciative that the redistricting committee and Senator Rucho took up the bill. I'm very appreciative that they decided to have a public information session today. I'm very appreciative that they're going to have another one on Tuesday. And one of the things that I think is important is this discussion has been going on for a while. Most of the politicians that you hear talk about this in a negative way are from Raleigh, and part of the reason why they're negative about this is because they don't understand the needs or the people in the small towns of Wake County. And let's make no mistake, this bill is not for politicians; it is for the people.
So this bill you see addresses a problem of the larger rural-urban divide in the state.
Yeah, the at-large election process gives Raleigh a greater ability to decide who the Wake County commissioners are going to be. And might I add, my plan gives a seat to Raleigh so that they are well represented as well.
Were any other members of the Wake delegation involved in drawing up the terms of this proposal?
Yes, I discussed it with many of my Wake delegation members, mostly the ones that live in the outlying or represent the outlying areas of the county because they had the most say. And we're not redrawing any lines. We're using the Wake County School Board districts, which those have stood up in the courts and will be going online in 2016.
All right.
So you think you have bipartisan support, at least from the Wake County delegation on this?
Well, I don't know. I can't speak to how people are going to vote, but I would say that people need to think carefully about voting against increasing representation for the citizens of Wake County.